Oh, hello YouTube. Tristan Blaze here again for another Legacy Magic deck. This is my Mono Red Burn. Relatively straightforward. It's one of the... I think this should be one of the first decks that anybody getting into Legacy should build. It's cheap, and it can win by turn 4 in some cases. You want to add money to it. There's really not much you can really add to it money-wise. If you like to still play Burn, I would basically just start building a blue-red Delver deck if after Burn you want to play something else. So I'm going to take you through my deck and tell you why I have what I have and why I don't have certain cards. First, I have 18 Mountains. Some people consider this to be one too few. I really haven't been screwed that much on mana with this 18 land. I do recommend, if you're gonna run Barbarian Rings in your burn deck, to do at least 19 then, because you're gonna be sacrificing the Barbarian Rings, so you're gonna be killing one land at least just off of that. So for me, it's just 18 Mountains and we're good. We got our 4 Goblin Guides. 2/2 for haste, and he lets you see a little about what your opponent might be playing, so you can plan accordingly. At that point, you see, he's running Ravager, so running Affinity, so okay, you're gonna start aiming burn at a lot of creatures. Or maybe he just flips a basic land, and he draws it. It's a trade-off, but I've had him hit turn 1 to 3, taking, hit for 6 damage. That's not bad for 1 mana investment. Then our Lightning Bolt, 3 damage. Basic, real good removal. Simple, just 3 damage to a creature or your opponent. Takes out a lot of good stuff in the format. Dark Confident being one of the biggest targets. And we have our next Lightning Bolt variant. It's our Lava Spike. Just deal 3 damage to your opponent. That's about it. Then our Chain Lightnings. Same thing as Lightning Bolt, sorcery speed, but they can pay 2 red and copy it and send it back to you. Now this, a few people have given me a little bit of flack over Magma Jet. I had 3 slots left in the deck when I built it, and I didn't want to just put 3 extra land in there. I wanted something that was kind of a utility. Lets me look a little bit deeper into my deck. I get to, scry to, there's been some cases where I've had 2 land in play and 1 in my hand. Magma Jet, top 2 cards are nothing but land. I'm not going to want to draw them, so I just bottom deck them. Sure enough, draw another burn spell, or at the very least, there's 2 more turns that I actually can draw something other than land, possibly. So that's why I keep it in there. I might remove them if something better comes along, but right now they're doing good, so they're gonna stay. And we have our 4 Keldon Marauders. These I am gonna remove. They're decent, It's 3/3 for 2. It sticks around to attack once. Pings your, opponent for 1 when he comes in. Pings him again when he leaves. Word of the Wise. I also play Enchantress, so if your opponent has Solitary Confinement in play, Keldon Marauders, it's not a you may have it deal 1 damage. It deals 1 damage. So if your opponent can't be targeted, it's dealing the damage to you. So just, FYI on that one, ladies and gentlemen. And Hellspark Elementals. I got these. These were the promotional ones. I like the artwork on these more than the Conflux artwork. So this is why I spent the extra 50 cents to get them this way. But 3/1 haste trample. Simple, but you got that unearth mechanic. It can come back again. There have been those turns where I've played a Hellspark, lightning bolted my opponent, swung for 3. Next turn, played a land, unearthed 1 Hellspark, cast another one, swung for 6, and fire blasted it right at the end, and that was game. So, I mean, some people don't run them, some do. I prefer them, I like them. They die to first strike creatures though, so beware. And our Price of Progress. 2 mana, deals 2 damage to... Well, basically, it basically just deals 2 damage to each player for every non-basic land. I love the way it's worded, like twice the number of non-basic lands. It's 2 damage for every non-basic land, so it's a shock for every non-basic they have in play. This deck, it doesn't bother you because you run nothing but basics. I got a bunch of other, like my Affinity deck, it has nothing but non-basics, so a Price of Progress hits you, you're gonna feel it. So I love this. It's some decks, this is literally a kill spell because they have so many non-basics, you know, Stoneblade decks, Esper Blade, Death Blades, God, whatever type of blade decks they got. This, if you get it on like turn 5 sometimes, that's it, they're dead. Then our Flame Rift. This, I originally debated whether or not I wanted it, so I began testing it, and it worked really good at first. It was like really, really good, you know, like turn 1 Bolt, turn 2 Flame Rift, and then it was just, okay, just, you know, burn, you're dead. Some matchups, really, really aggressive matchups, like Goblins or Zoo, very, very aggressive decks, even Affinity, because you can get, I mean, I've got nut draws in Affinity where I've had a turn 1 Metal Crafted as champion. So, I mean, this is, it's real good. It's 4 damage for 2, but you're also taking it, so you know, it's good in most decks I've played against. There are going to be a few that it's not going to be good in. Then our Rift Bolt. This is our 4th Lightning Bolt variation. Suspend for 1. This, you can do it on turn 1. It's good because it could keep people from playing something. They don't want to play Deathrise Shaman, or maybe they have the mana to play a Dark Confidant off of, say, Lotus Petal in a land. Well, now they don't want to play that because they don't want it to die. So this for some decks I've played against is kind of a pseudo time walk, because now it's just, okay, I'm not going to play anything until it resolves. So certain decks you can just blank their first turn, but most decks are just going to normally put something else out, they'll bait a creature, and that'll be it. So 50-50. Worst case, just aiming at your opponent. And if you need to, you can actually hardcast it. Very, very rarely would that ever come up, but you could if you needed to. And then I got my 3 Fire Blast. Why 3 and not 4? I'm running 18 land, and I don't want to keep sacking my mountains all the time. So I'm running 3 Fire Blast, and in my experience, a single Fire Blast that actually resolves aimed at your opponent normally is game. You've just finished it, that's it, boom, you're done. Normally. Not all the time, but normally that's how it runs with me. Now we're going to look at our sideboard, and my sideboard is a work in progress still. I have 1 Pyroblast and 1 Red Elemental Blast. Honestly speaking, I really can't choose between the two. There's upsides and downsides to each one. But I mean, I really can't decide which one. So I got 1 of each, and they're just because I just can't decide. 4 Smash to Smithereens. Initially, I had Shattering Spree in here. Easy way to, get around Chalice of the Void and counter magic just by replicating it as many times as you need to, basically. But, I wanted the ability to have a spell that just added more damage onto it. So, it's 1 more mana, and I get to, nuke an artifact and bolt you, so why not? It could be worse, So that's why I'm running 4 of those and not Shattering Sprees. Right now I'm testing out 2 Sulfuric Vortexes in the sideboard. I'm probably going to go up to 3. In the same situation for the main deck, I'm probably going to take Keldon Marauders out for Vexing Devils, just because it lowers the curve a bit. The Devils, if my opponent doesn't have anything in play, could stay around a lot longer, deal more damage. But this is good, especially if you're playing against like Jits and Batterskulls. And I think it's, I forget which one it was, but it was one of the swords. There's like so many swords out there now people are playing. I forget which one it was. It was like gains life and stuff. I totally forget. Normally I just kill the creature carrying, or just, kill the equipment, and I'm done with it. But this helps for life gain decks. I'm probably going to go up to 3 on this. This is Flame Break. Most are running Volcanic Fallout. 3 mana, uncounterable. Deals 2 damage. Or Pyroclasm, which it's a mana cheaper, but it can be countered. This can also be countered, but the reason why I did this is basically is another way to just wipe the board from non-flying creatures, but also deal 3 damage to all non-flying creatures and each player. So it's kind of like Flame Rift, but I get sort of like a pseudo board wipe against like goblins or elves. If you have the ability to cast it, it could wipe their board out and make it a lot easier on you. Considering you normally have a fast clock already, that could be pretty good. And then we got 4 Fairy Macabre, however the hell you pronounce it, I don't care. I did a lot of thinking about the graveyard hate. Initially I was thinking about, Crypt or Relic of Progenitus, maybe Grafdigger's Cage. Then I started thinking about Surgical Extraction, but I really wanted more of, I wanted targeted graveyard removal, but at the same time I really didn't want there to be my opponent, counterspelling it. Or, my opponent, being able to, say, like, get around it through various spells. So I ran this, basically, it's just simply, okay, discard, boom. Remove, this and that. Remove, the 2 Icarids in your deck. Or remove, remove Punishing Fire. Simple stuff like that. Remove life from the loam. Anything like that, where you can just like get rid of something. Oh yeah, you need this, so let's just get rid of it before you can take it. Out of your graveyard. So that's why I run Fairy Macabre. I kind of go back and forth between that and Surgical Extraction. It just, I don't know. It depends on how I feel that day, basically. But I mean, this is a good burn deck. Adding money to it, obviously, would basically, I take out the Marauders, throw in the Vexing Devils, take out the Flame Breaks, throw in Volcanic Fallouts, add another Sulfuric Vortex, and that's it. I mean, I could run, say, a couple of Mind Break Traps. Take out the 2 Pyroblasts and the Red Elemental Blast, and take out a Fairy Macabre, run 3 Mind Break Traps, not a problem for anti-combo matchups. But around here, in my little metagame, it's primarily just me and my cousins playing, stuff like that. I'm the one that runs combo, and my combo is Charbelcher and various forms of Dredge, and that's about what we'll put it at. Various forms of Dredge is what I run for combo when I really want to annoy people. So that's basically that's it. I mean, Mind Break Trap really doesn't really help against that. So that's like a legacy burn deck. This is like $150, legitimately like $150, even with like the the foil Hellspark Elementals, and the old Legends Chain Lightnings, which I've had for a very long time. I had to get 2 of them, and I'm pissed because I didn't actually read the set that I was buying them from, because I didn't know they got reprinted. And I got the 2 foil ones from the Fire and Ice thing, and I'm like pissed because I just hate the artwork. I'm just like so pissed. I look at it, I go, man, I hate this card. I want to burn it. But this is real cheap, real cheap, real easy way to get into Legacy. You can save up some money after you've been playing this. Save up $400. You can then switch over. Make like a relatively cheap Delver deck with, say, like 2 duels, 2 Volcanic Islands, and some fetch lands, and then just obviously your blue counters. And you could easily get into Legacy playing this. It's an expensive format if you want to play Legacy lands, and you want to run a lot of crazy stuff, like a lot of duels. But if you're playing Burn or Affinity or Dredge, Manaless Dredge, it's not that expensive. It's only a couple $100 per deck. And the beauty part is these cards are not going to rotate out. Like, Lightning Bolt will always be legal in my format, which is why I love it, and it's why I play it. So, if you like this, like the deck, got suggestions, complaints over Magma Jet, a lot of complaints over that, just, like and subscribe and then complain. And I'll be bringing you, I'll probably just be bringing you another deck tech within a day or two, because I'm bored and I have nothing to do over the holiday weekend except eat leftover turkey. So, once again, like, comment, and subscribe. Complain about the freaking Magma Jet that you hate. You hate this card, so complain about it. And tell your friends to complain about it too. And see you for the next one.